Today, we're talking about why most of the fights in your life never really had to happen and the 5-second habit that will stop them before they start.
Life is beautiful.
So our mom loves those corny email forwarded jokes. The ones back in the 2000s where everyone just keeps forwarding these corny email
Such a
jokes.
boomer thing.
So she sent us one in our family group chat the other day. She copied and pasted it, and I'm going to share it with you. So a man was flying from Seattle to San Francisco, and the plane had a layover in Sacramento. The flight attendant explained that there would be a delay, and if the passengers wanted to get off the aircraft, the plane would reboard in an hour. Everybody got off the plane, except one gentleman who was blind. Another man had noticed him as he walked by and could tell the gentleman was blind because his seeing eye dog lay quietly underneath the seats in front of him throughout the entire flight. He could also tell this man had flown this very flight before because the pilot approached him, calling him by name, saying, "Keith, we're in Sacramento for an hour. Would you like to get off and stretch your legs?" The blind man replies, "No thanks, but maybe my dog would like to stretch his legs." So the pilot, still wearing sunglasses from the flight, walks off the plane with Keith's seeing eye dog. All the people in the gate area come to a complete standstill when they see the pilot. They ran to not just change their flight, but their airline. Have a great day, and remember, things aren't always as they appear. Oh, man, corny emails.
So it's actually a great story, though.
It's so stupid.
No, it's a great.
It's a great lesson.
It's a great lesson. It's it's that cliche line: "Don't judge a book by its cover." Right?
Yeah.
You got to get inside and get curious.
Yeah.
And
I once
really-
heard a great line. It's from our friend Peter and Dimitri's father, Sam Mazidis. He once said, and for some reason, I heard this when I was 5 years old, and I will still remember it to this day. He says, "Don't assume because you'll make an ass out of you and me." He's basically spelling assume.
Yeah.
And it just stuck with me. And it's so true. Don't assume you'll make an ass out of you and me.
Yeah, I remember that too.
He always said that.
Yeah.
Our brains love to do this. They love to judge. They love to assume things because they're really just trying to conserve energy.
Why? Yeah. Dude, let's get into the science behind it.
You want to go into Mike's Science
Yeah,
Corner?
let's go into Mike's Science Corner. Why do we do this to our dismay?
We do this because our brains evolved to make snap judgment calls, because if we didn't, we would die.
Mhm.
Basically, that's the short story of it. When we were basically, I don't want to say growing up, I almost said growing up in the wilderness. When we were evolving, the earliest versions of our ancestors,
Homo sapiens.
yeah, and probably even before that, they were trying to survive in the wild, and so they had to basically make very quick judgment calls because the freaking animals around them were moving so much faster than them, and so they had to decide really quickly what things meant.
Yeah.
And so now in today's world, we make those snap judgment calls, but there's no lions and tigers around us for us to be forced to be so quick with things. I mean, there are benefits to making fast judgments sometimes, but a lot of times, especially in relationships, I think we assume to our own demise, like you
Yeah.
said.
It's so true. I was thinking about this. You ever been in a doctor's office and you're waiting there for a really long time and you're starting to get super pissed off?
Definitely.
Like, oh my God, it's like been an hour and a half. My name still hasn't been called.
Yeah.
Well, your thoughts become like, this is bullshit. This guy is so unprofessional. He's taking forever. But then,
My thought is usually like, what the fuck are they doing in there?
yeah. But then, what if you then learn that that doctor had just spent an hour trying to save someone's life?
Yeah.
Now, that story that you were developing in your head about this guy being unprofessional, taking forever, always being late.
Yeah.
Now, that story completely evaporated in 2 seconds when you found out that piece of information.
Yep.
And the point I'm trying to make is that sometimes information actually helps create compassion.
That's true. That's definitely true. It reminds me, I'm going to step back into Mike's Science Corner for a second. There's something called the fundamental attribution error, and it comes from a Stanford psychologist named Lee Ross, who came up with this back in the 70s. He says, when other people mess up, we assume it's who they are. When we mess up, we basically say it's what we're dealing with. So when you look at that doctor, you assume he's just an asshole. It's who he is. He's an asshole. But if we were running behind on something, it's like, well, you don't understand. I was doing the dishes, and this is so it's like the situation. So the fundamental attribution error is like you mistakenly put labels on people way too quickly, but you're way more generous when it comes to labeling yourself.
Yeah. I think it just makes sense to default to giving people the benefit of the doubt.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, I want to put a caveat there, which is like if someone close to you is constantly doing something over and over again, then obviously it's not wise to continue to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yep.
But when it comes to like a random stranger on the street, a guy who cuts you off or skips you in line or whatever, just default to giving them the benefit of the doubt and not knowing what is going on, and create a story in your head, even if it's fake, saying why they needed to do what they just did, and it'll make you a lot happier.
Yeah, but I think this episode is really about conflicts in your relationships, not about like, I mean, it can be related to other stuff like strangers and stuff, but I want to talk about actual relationships with people because we assume in relationships all the time. We make this fundamental attribution error thinking that if our partner didn't do the dishes when they were supposed to, that they are an asshole and they're selfish, and we'll confront them and say, and like with this attitude, like you're an asshole, and we're going to make that snap judgment call when really all we need to do is be curious, not judgmental. And I think that's really the main idea here, is to be curious instead of judgmental, and you will save yourself 99% of fights in your life.
100%. So it goes back to what I was saying earlier about information creates compassion, and the way you get that information is by defaulting to curiosity rather than judgment.
Exactly.
100%.
So we talked about an example on this podcast before. Like, let's say I showed up late. Instead of you coming up to me and saying like, yo, what the fuck, you're late, you would say, genuinely curious, what happened? Like, you showed up late today. Is everything okay? Like, genuinely curious, and why did I show up late? And that will open up a dialogue where we can actually talk about it.
Yeah.
So just being curious, taking 5 seconds, literally 5 seconds before you react to something, before you let your mind make that snap judgment and then act on it, just take a 5-second pause to be curious and not judgmental, to ask that question, why? Why did this person do this? Because there's always a reason, whether it's a good reason or a bad reason, you don't know until you ask.
Yep.
Right? So investigate before you judge.
I like it. All right. So be curious, not judgmental. What's our call to action for today, Mike?
I wanted to make this proactive, and growing up and living in New York City is a perfect place for us to practice this, but it could happen just about anywhere. As you walk around today, you are going to notice, as you're looking at other people, your brain is making judgments about every single person that you see. For example, when Nick sees people eating chips and candy in the afternoon, he thinks, wow, what a loser. Why are they eating so unhealthy in the middle of the day? His mind is very judgmental when it comes to people eating unhealthy.
Sounds like you're judging me right now.
I definitely am. No, but as you walk around, notice your mind making these judgments about all the people. And instead of being judgmental, see if you can practice being curious about why that person made that choice. What made them do that? Whether it's they have a hairstyle that's crazy, or whether they're making a decision you would never make. Instead of saying, wow, what a blank, just get curious. Well, I wonder why. I wonder what made them choose that hairstyle. I wonder if there was something in their childhood.
Channel your inner 5-year-old and ask the question, why?
Yep.
And that's really all you need to do to make this call to action happen.
And I know it sounds silly as a call to action, but if you can get yourself in that state of mind, when the hard time does come in the relationship where you need to get curious, you'll have persuaded your brain to be ready for that curiosity and to not judge. And that'll save you a fight for sure.
All right. Thanks for hanging out with us. Love you.
Peace.